Hey, what is going on, guys? This is Justin Martinez with Proficient Trading here. And I also want to add on to the last video, part 2, understanding the market and getting involved in the basics and all that stuff. So today, I forgot to mention this in my last video, that in order to become a successful trader, you need to develop, plan, and execute a strategy, and also develop the emotional discipline, the psychology to actually become good trading, because markets can be really difficult and stressful at times and they're very choppy, like currently what's been happening during the virus. And today I'm going to talk about the brokerage firm types, day trading versus swing trading versus scalping, the different market types, the economic news, the apps I recommend, the books I recommend, and one thing I cannot stress more is to start paper trading. So getting started with the brokerage firm types. So personally, I use TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim. Now this website right here is just to watch trade, just to watch the markets. You can't really trade with it. I mean, there's a few brokers that let you trade with, but this is just to watch. Now, I use TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim. There's no commission. I mean, it's like $1. It's like 65 cents for every contract you buy within options. But within stocks, every stock, whether you buy like one share of Tesla, a million shares of Tesla, it's $0. They're not going to charge you extra or anything. Before, they charged you like a certain percentage. I forgot how much. But now, TD Ameritrade, they don't charge you anything for trading stocks. And one thing to start with, which is very popular, is Robinhood. This is one that is very popular too. Getting the free stock, referring so when you get free stock. Trading options, you don't you can start with just $0. I mean, actually, you need money to buy the options, but there's no commission on the options. Compared to TD Ameritrade, I mean, there's only 65 cents of commission for every contract, and you need at least a minimum of $2,000 to start trading options. So you need that at least in your account to be trading, messing around with, which majority of people don't start, including me. I didn't start with $2,000. And another one is Webull. It's kind of like Robinhood, but I think it's a little better because it does have a platform for computers. This is also how it looks like. It's actually pretty nice, pretty clean, simple. Doesn't No commissions or anything on options, no commissions on stock or anything. It promotes it right here. I enjoy trading on that too because I have an account with them. Also, another one for more serious trading is E-Trade trading platform. E-Trade is basically kind of like this. This is the platform. It is still serious, but I prefer TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim platform because you're able to have multiple tabs, multiple charts, multiple strategies, indicators, which I'm not a too big fan of indicators, but I think it's helpful for some people. Also, I want to talk about like day trading versus swing trading versus scalping. So what is day trading? Day trading is when you buy and sell a stock within the same day. So let's just say I buy 100 shares of Apple um, in the morning at 7 in the morning. That's where it opens here in Los Angeles. Okay, so when after you buy that, let's just say time goes by, you see price pushes up, 8 o'clock. Oh, I'm gonna sell those 100 shares. That's a day trade. Now, if you have an account balance under $25,000, I got screwed over when I started. It's called the pattern day trader rule. This rule you have to follow, or else your account gets banned for like 90 days. So they don't allow you to make any day trades for 90 days. FINRA defines pattern day trade rule as any customer executes 4 or more, which, which on Robinhood, Webull, TD Ameritrade, all those brokers, if you try to make a 4th day trade, they'll consider it illegal and then they'll just block your account within 90 days. In order to actually day trade, like legally here in the United States, without the other solutions you can have by making offshore accounts, you have to have at least $25,000 minimum in your account, which obviously most people do not have. So with that one, you can day trade all you want when it comes to trading forex markets. So forex is basically like foreign exchange markets. So let's take an example. Let's see, euro US dollar. Look at the chart. This is a forex major, Europe, obviously. The pattern I had a long time ago. Little trade out my other account. This is a major currency. A minor currency, well, it wouldn't be minor, it would just be more exotic. So like another popular one is the US dollar and the Mexican peso. Recently, it pushed up really high because of the whole virus. They noticed that the cash demand for the dollar was supposed to increase, but in reality, they know that the Federal Reserve is always going to print the money and inject the economy with quantitative easing and increase their balance sheet, which isn't effective in the long term because I do believe that the dollar is going to fail and other commodities will rise, like gold, obviously. Bitcoin will rise too. It's just in my opinion. This is not financial advice that I tell you. Also, you can trade options too, which it's not listed on here to trade options because in order to get the options chain, you would have to actually go to the broker, pull an order so you could buy a call or buy a put, sell a call, sell a put. You can also, there's different strategies, so you can do the what's called the iron condor, which is actually really complicated to explain. So I'll just go on to the next one. Futures markets. Futures, you can't see it on here, but it would be like forward slash like ESU20. So let's just see. Actually, you can look at it here. See like E-mini S&P 500 gold futures. They have certain dates, so you're kind of betting on the value of the future date. And there's a little contract they can trade. This one is kind of like day trading. You need at least $25,000 to start to just be allowed to start trading futures. Another one you can trade is ETFs. I covered a little bit on my last video, but an ETF is when it's an exchange traded fund. So it's kind of like, let's just say you can't afford to buy Amazon shares. Each each Amazon share is like around $2,000. Yeah, $2,758. Not a lot of people have the money to own these shares, so you can invest in someone that's investing in this, and that'd be like a tech ETF. You can also do different ETFs like oil ETFs. It's basically supposed to buy this at a bargain price. That's the best way I can simplify it. So crypto, this is pretty popular. Bitcoin, a lot of people made money on Bitcoin. You can look at the weekly chart. You see 2012, 2016 rise up, came crashing down, but kind of steady around 5,000 to the $10,000 range. Which I personally don't trade Bitcoin. I do not trade forex, but I do trade stocks, options, futures, and ETFs. So another thing you should be aware of is the economic calendar. So this one, TradingView, is good that they show you the economy, manufacturing index, unemployment, the money stock, like the money being printed and all that stuff, GDP per capita. You can also look at the market watch. Just Google search economic calendar will pop up the market watch. Now for tomorrow, what's gonna happen is actually major. Well, here it's June 30th. Well, actually not tomorrow, but in 2 days. NFP, it's called non-farm payroll. So let's say you work at a government job or you work at McDonald's, it's still non-farm payrolls because it's non-farm. This is major too. Unemployment rate, major too. The trade deficit, countries that are trading with each other, major. Basically, all of these are major, but a lot of them are specific to what type of stock, what type of market are you trading. So, like, let's just say, like construction spending. So you will want to look at companies like Caterpillar, because they specialize in construction, motor vehicle sales. So you look at Ford, their earnings will be affected by this. GM, Ferrari, whatever you want to look at. And also the apps I recommend to get started is Yahoo Finance. That's a really good app. There's Robinhood, there's Webull, and there's MetaTrader 4 for any of you forex or future traders. Not futures, but the CFDs, the commodities like oil, gold, copper, silver, whatever you want. The books I recommend. I personally read this one, How I Made $2 million in the Stock Market. It's pretty unique how, like it says, actually pretty crazy how his strategy was so simple and a lot of the news he got was late. Like most people think like, oh, the first one to get news are the first ones to make money. Well, for him, it was kind of different, which it is different now since this was like back in like 1960. It's an old book. I haven't read this book, Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday, but I heard really good reviews about this book. It's not necessarily a trading book, but this is more of like, to help you out with, your mind, getting the emotional discipline, the psychology. That's what I've heard. This book I've actually read too, Understanding Wall Street, Jeffrey B. Little. Pretty crazy how you start off really small and you go into retiring, at a young age. How it's possible with trading that people don't actually realize that there's like a secret world, inside Wall Street. And one thing I strongly recommend is to paper trade. Paper trading is when you open like let's just say TD Ameritrade account. They're gonna ask you, hey, you want to start paper trading? It, it's like a free $100,000 they let you play around with. It's fake money over real market time, and it gives you a good experience of how the money is gonna move, the prices are gonna move, the patterns, directions, opportunity costs. But it's a little different because obviously there's no emotions involved because it's not real money. If it was real money, it'd be a whole different ballgame. But yeah, I hope you guys actually take the time and actually start studying this type of career, and I hope the best in your guys' success. All right, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.